I know what it is, but I never had the need to see it.
Well, Full Frontal is one I got to edit, so let's get moving. I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing Brad Pitt. Are we doing a filmography, or is this Pittsmas or something?
I mean, it's not really Pittsmas anymore. It's just we try to do Brad Pitt around December.
Yeah, Full Frontal, 2002.
And Jules and I are naked right now. We got our dirty dicks on the couch.
It was originally titled How to Survive a Hotel Room Fire.
There's no hotel room fire.
It's funny you should say that, Jason, because after the terrorist attack on the 11th of September in the year 2001, Steven Soderbergh dropped a plot element about placards telling how to survive a hotel room fire, a phrase that he had also intended to use as the film's title because he felt it was insensitive.
That's a terrible name for a movie.
I like it. It's terrible for this movie. Yeah. When you give me a movie where there's rooms that are on fire in a hotel, and the guy's trying to put them out, I'm about it.
A real towering inferno is what you're talking about?
Yeah, this movie had a budget of $2 million.
Fucking awesome.
It grossed $3.4 million.
Brad Pitt's for sure in this on scale.
Oh, God, everybody is.
Yeah.
Apparently, Steven Soderbergh attached a very specific list as rules for the screenplay.
Oh, we got some dogma shit going on here?
Yes. Number 1, all sets are practical locations. 2, you will drive yourself to the set. If you are unable to drive yourself, a driver will pick you up, but you will probably become the subject of ridicule. Either way, you must arrive alone. 3, there will be no craft service, so you should arrive on set having had. Meals will vary in quality. 4, you will pick, provide, and maintain your own wardrobe. 5, you will create and maintain your own hair and makeup. 6, there will be no trailers. The company will attempt to provide holding areas near a given location, but don't count on it. If you need to be alone a lot, you're probably pretty much screwed. 7, improvisation will be encouraged.
Is that all of them?
No.
Okay.
It's 2 more. 3 more. 8, you will be interviewed about your character. This material may end up in the film. 9, you will be interviewed about the other characters. This material may end up in the film. 10, the final one, you will have fun whether you want to or not. If any of these guidelines are problematic for you, stop reading now, send the screenplay back, and get the fuck out of here.
That part's not in there.
It should have been, but it wasn't.
I mean, this is just him experimenting with digital video, right? That's great.
I'll tell you what is not great. This same thing will happen in the next run where someone just wants to use new cameras and makes a feature and it is straight up terrible.
According to David Duchovney, he was supposed to get a real erection, but he couldn't do it. So they put a plastic dildo in there.
I don't think I could get a boner on demand at all.
And in the film,
Julian, can you get a boner on demand?
Right now, boom.
Damn!
In the movie, after his failed pitch meeting, Blair Underwood's character complains, "We brought them a china cup and they told us to go back and make a beer mug." That's actually not exactly what he says. That's a paraphrase of it. But it is almost a direct quote from the director David Fincher. He was describing his experience making Alien 3 to Premiere Magazine. David Fincher is in this movie. I don't know if you saw him.
I did know.
It was hard to make out because it looked like garbage.
Not that scene.
After
Only some of the scenes look really bad.
Yeah.
It's a lighting thing.
It's a lot of things.
We used to film on digital all the time, Julian.
This is a follow-up of sorts to Sex, Lies, and Videotape. This stars 2 actors who auditioned unsuccessfully for that film.
My friend from Just Shoot Me and Veronica Mars. Enrico Colantoni?
No.
Is that his name?
That is his name, but he's not
He's not one of them? David Duchovney?
That's one of them.
And Julia Roberts?
No.
Not Mary McCormack.
Mm-mm. No, God, no.
Who's the other one?
David Hyde Pearce.
Oh.
Both of them were up for the part later taken by James Spader in Sex, Lies.
Bro. I hate Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Yeah.
I think it's unbearably...
We watched that, right? With Ben?
Yeah. And that's the second time I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's unbearably boring and terrible.
Yeah.
We ate a bunch of edibles that night.
That's right.
Me specifically. I think I ate more because I didn't have to travel.
Yeah.
And we watched the awful The Rock movie, Rampage.
Oh, yeah. That was the same night?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I
God,
think
what a
like the
double
last
feature.
half hour of that, the edibles really kicked in. And by the time we got the Sex Lives videotape, it was just a fucking
Yeah,
nightmare. That
fuck
movie's so
me.
boring.
Why would you bring that to a fucking friend hang?
That's what Ben suggested.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you do that? Why don't you go ahead and hit me with the synopses?
I will. Full Frontal. Blair Underwood and Julia Roberts are in a movie. Catherine Keener and Mary McCormack are sisters in the movie, but not in the movie. David Hyde Pearce is Catherine Keener's husband in the movie, but also not in the movie. Enrico Colantoni wrote a play starring Nicky Katt in the movie, and Nicky Katt, and maybe also in the movie, but definitely in a play in the movie. David Duchovney and Mary McCormack have the filthy lies in the movie, but you guessed it, not in the movie, and also not in the play in the movie. When you're only partially paying attention, it's hard to distinguish partial nudity from full frontal.
Because your boy from Just Shoot Me, Blair Underwood and Julia Roberts in the credits at the end of the film have two names because they're actor and character. The only other person that has a /2 name is that guy.
Enrico?
Yeah. So I'm like, did he play two like brothers? I don't remember there being another guy.
No.
So then he must be an actor playing that character in the movie.
I mean, does he have a fake name for the dating scheme he's got with the lady that he's going to see in Tucson?
Oh, that's his scheme?
I mean, it's not a scheme.
I thought it was like...
I think she thinks he's younger than he is within that thing, but they've never exchanged pictures.
That's him?
That's him, but then also they meet naturally on the plane.
Yeah.
And blow
I didn't
off
realize...
their people without realizing they're their people. And
Oh.
also, that is the movie we watched. And they pull back and they're like, ha ha, but remember, this is a movie.
Right,
We're
right.
showing you it's a movie.
I must have completely missed that. I did completely miss that he had been running that scheme. I heard her talking about...
God, scheme's not the right word. They met each other.
Somewhere. Yeah. She said she's never met him, right?
Right.
When she's talking to Catherine Keener?
Online or somehow.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was him.
Maybe Full Frontal's the name of their dating website.
Maybe.
Not Yahoo Personals.
I also got confused why David Hyde Pearce kept talking to the women in the office about the porn star stuff. I'm like, do they make pornos?
No, I think...
But they're just a news or a periodical, a magazine or some sort. I thought it was like, oh, he must work at a porno place because he keeps talking to these women uncomfortably about porn names. We're treated early to a magazine cameo by Brad Pitt. The cover of something or in a print ad somewhere. Blair Underwood. Isn't there somebody nude in bed? A woman laying on her chest? Nude? And the guy's kissing her back? Is that how this opens?
Blair?
Maybe it's a scene from the movie in the movie.
Probably. Well, I mean, did it look nice?
It did.
So it's probably a scene within the movie
Interesting. Okay. So
it starts with
with like introductions to all the characters. This is this guy, and he was invited to the party by Gus. This person is whatever, and they
think they're invited to the party, but they're actually a +1.
Right.
This person not invited to the party.
And Mary McCormack is Catherine Keener's sister. Mm-hmm. Catherine Keener is married to David Hyde Pearce. She writes him a letter basically breaking up with him.
And his greatest fear is that she finds him boring, but she's like, I don't want to be with you. We need to sort this out tonight. Do not call me. Under no circumstances call me. I will be back tonight to discuss how to shut this down peacefully.
Yeah, how you leave and I stay here, or vice versa. And she leaves that for him. She's so cold to him when he's telling her he's been having weird dreams. And her sister lives in an apartment. She's a masseuse. She drives a gremlin, cherry gremlin.
She lies to people about her name. Do you want to talk about the gremlin more?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. It seemed like you maybe had another sentence. And
I was just thinking about how good it was. I got lost at it. So her neighbor is her ex-boyfriend.
That biker looking
He's
guy?
a biker. He's more than looking. He's living. And he's kissing some chick. She's looking through the blinds. Uh-huh. And then she sneaks down, goes to her gremlin. And he just comes out sashaying.
Gremlin's really a car name?
Yeah. He just walks by her like nonchalant. it almost looks like he has no recognition who she is. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe they weren't dating. Maybe she's just like obsessed with him.
Okay.
But then later they do mention she was dating somebody and it wasn't good. I don't know. He gets on his hog and he just rips out of there.
Is that the sound that motorcycles, the hogs make?
He did it too good. I couldn't add to it. I would only detract. So Blair Underwood's at the airport and Julia Roberts shows up in the worst wig known to man.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's atrocious. And they just start talking.
We can choose to believe it's on purpose.
It has to be. And you get the sense that they are strangers to one another, but they somehow knew, and it's because she's a writer and he's an actor. And for some reason, she's going to fly with him to Los Angeles, I guess.
I mean, that's one of the best profiles you can do is spending a couple days with him, right?
Yeah, I guess. And
did you not used to read those? Did you not like celebrities like I did when I was little?
No, I didn't. I only cared about the work.
You liked the cool action movies, but you were never like, can I hear a 3-day adventure with Jean-Claude? I don't want to hear what that idiot has to say.
No, I don't care.
Is it cocaine and pussy? I will not talk about it.
Put him back in this cage until we need him.
Where he does
for
the
the
cocaine
Legionnaire.
and pussy constantly?
And so she's interviewing him on the plane. He's eating a lot of food. She doesn't eat. Then
she gets him, goes to the bathroom, and he finds a red card, much like the Dear John letter that David Hyde Pearce got left by Catherine Keener.
So I thought, oh, Catherine Keener's with him, and she gave him this letter because she's going to stay with her husband. And he goes, damn it, Julia Roberts, why did you write this? And she's like, I didn't. But she's like not really putting up much effort to definitively say, I didn't write that. It's just like, oh, cutesy bootsy. You know.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, and he's waking her up and shit. And for some reason...
What? Did you say he's waking her up and shit?
Yeah, because she falls asleep.
Okay.
He elbows her. Get up.
Oh, I feel a little nauseous.
So are you ready to talk about this?
Oh, Nicholas. Look, I think that you're very talented. And I'll probably write a very nice piece about you. But you're really annoying about this whole letter thing.
No. You're annoying.
I want to talk more about this.
Start clacking that big mouth.
And for some reason, the Limeys on the plane.
I know. I was like, that's Terrence Stamp. Boy, I want to watch the Limey now.
Yeah. You tell him I'm fucking coming.
He does. He does come.
So they land eventually. Catherine Keener, she's holding interviews that seems to be industry related.
Yeah, she's firing people. Did you realize that was Rainn Wilson in the very first one?
Are you a smoker, Brian?
I participate when it's available.
Are you a smoker?
No, but I smoke.
It's like immediately evident that that's Rainn Wilson.
Okay.
Just by his voice.
I thought it was special.
I'm like, oh, is that Rainn?
I think this is probably slightly before House of a Thousand Corpses, maybe, which I feel like is when you would have seen him on screen. So anyways, Catherine Keener is doing this weird power move where she's tormenting the people at the end. She fires them, but then she's like, can you do these things? Which are hold the globe and recite different areas on one foot.
Is this a joke? Because I'm a good sport. I mean,
This is a test of skill of sorts. I like you, David. I'll tell you that right now. Name all the countries in Africa. Oh. 1 minute.
Now, one guy, it initially seems like he thinks she's going to fuck him, right?
what are you doing?
Put that chair against the door.
And then the lady, she's just firing off like every African country. Mm-hmm. Catherine Keener is just getting wet.
I don't think you're allowed to do this. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Isn't that what she says?
Yeah, and she takes a quick picture. Yeah. And
she gets pictures of them all.
She smiles, but it's clearly after the flash.
Yeah.
Like she's like, you know, like, I don't know what's happening.
So wait, can we just do a check-in? The movie's been playing for 20 minutes now. It's kind of a longish movie, 2 hours each.
About an hour and 55 minutes, maybe, yeah.
I had two different experiences in this movie. It was the most boring movie in the world for a little while. And then I was like, oh, actually, I'm kind of into this. Mm-hmm. As the characters got more interesting and their behaviors got more weird, I was like, oh, wait a minute. So basically, when Catherine Keener starts doing these, when she gets to the second guy, it makes him get up there and do the weird shit. I'm like, oh, interesting. And then David Hyde Pearce is being weird. I can't remember what his thing. Everybody starts to get a little bit funny and strange.
Well, so like I said, he's asking women about like porn names.
And the lady who gets him fired, it's very obvious.
Tracy, is that your given name?
Yes.
And what's your porn name? Do you know about porn names?
No.
Okay. Your porn name is your middle name and the name of the first street you grew up on.
Okay.
So, like, my porn name is Andrew Highland. So, you're Tracy.
I don't have a middle name.
Yeah, well, you can also use the name of your first pet.
We weren't allowed to have pets.
But he is sleeping with Blair Underwood's girlfriend.
What? David Hyde Pearce is cheating on
I'm pretty sure. Because he's talking to her, and she goes, we can't, do this. I, met somebody.
I, the robot voice, disagree with this take. She is just setting boundaries when he is talking about whether people in porn are having sex or not.
Why would you want to think about it so much? It's been made to turn you on. It's nothing deeper than that.
Sorry. I thought you said this didn't bother you.
Carl, I can't have conversations like this anymore.
And there's that moment where he's like, oh, okay, word. I appreciate you being, straightforward with me.
I
and
remember
then he gets
them
super crushed.
talking. Wow.
She goes, why?
What's cheating on his wife?
Apparently, if I understand that correctly.
Do you think she knew? Do you think she was an asshole?
No, and I don't know, but it's how coincidental is it that the two people in a relationship are cheating on each other with two people in a relationship?
I think it might be a joke about how vapid they are, and they just don't. They're nothing people.
Could be. There are some progressively more weird things that do occur, almost Mulholland Drive-y. But that does take a little bit to get there. So Catherine Keener, she also brought home brownies from Europe or something that had weed in them. However, she managed to do that hash, I think specifically. So there is a moment where she hooks up with Blair Underwood, and you're thinking...
They aren't in a relationship? This is just a meet up and fuck?
I think she was going to leave David Hyde Pearce for him.
Right, so this is a relationship they've had.
Kind of.
Okay, the way you set it up, I was like, wait, did they only ever do it one time?
No. I mean, we see them doing it. Sort of. It's severely out of focus. But I'm struggling now to recall if this. I don't think they've divulged yet that every time you see him with Julia Roberts, it's a movie, right?
I think we find that out before. I think we meet Brad Pitt before we see them in their blurry shapes behind the key rock.
It's hard to
I'm pretty sure
reconcile, but
I'm pretty sure we see David Fincher before that.
Okay. So yeah, well, because then there's so much with her and her sister, and then the David Duchovney thing, and she runs into her sister again.
That's way down the line.
I don't know. Regardless, I was really not into this movie. I thought some of the performances were pretty good. That was what was keeping me from just completely zoning out. But then the second it's so interesting because Julia Roberts and Blair Underwood have had a significant amount of the screen time now, and they're just talking casually like they have been. And then all of a sudden they get up and they leave the restaurant and they just stop. You can hear them talking. The camera's in the restaurant looking through the window, and they're walking, but you can still hear them talking. And then all of a sudden they just stop and they look directly at the camera and they go, I didn't hear. Did they call cut? Are they going to call cut? I don't know. I don't know if they call cut. And then all of a sudden, cut. Shh. She takes off her wig, and I'm like, what's going on here? I'm sorry. The one main thing that kept me going was Nicky Katt as Hitler. That whole scenario, I would like to see that as just a movie.
Do you like Nicky Katt?
Normally, I find him mostly serviceable, if not sometimes forgettable.
I feel like he always has kind of an aggressive bully vibe to him.
Yeah, and I think that works here because he's like such a minor prick.
Well,
but it's like
it builds.
It builds, absolutely.
Initially, it seems you're like, oh, okay, he might be all right, and then he's like, I don't actually remember any of the lines, and we open tonight, but whatever.
I'm gonna get in front of it. I'm gonna get it ready for showtime. He's tonight, and you're like, okay, but then he goes, to the writer. He goes, can you take this coffee back that you just brought me as a good faith gesture?
I like it black.
Yeah, thanks. And he goes back to shaving his Hitler stash.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It is.
Enrico's pretty funny trying to work out that balance of supporting the star and helping him, but not being his employee and also still being in charge. There's a couple of moments that are interesting with the push and pull there. Yeah, but Nicky Katt's the star of this entire sequence.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because he's doing a Hitler play. Mm-hmm. His character is Hitler.
But it's this weird contemporary blend.
Yeah, that it's like
cell phones and therapy and bitches.
Yeah, it's almost like Hitler through the lens of like Frisky Dingo.
I didn't watch Frisky Dingo.
Okay.
Is it good though?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
I love it.
You might. Mary McCormack is, like I said, Catherine Keener's younger sister. Catherine Keener's riding the hell out of her. She's a bitch. And Mary McCormack ends up going to do a massage for David Duchovney.
She gives a speech before this about how she doesn't give people her information.
Mm-hmm.
She lies to them about who she is because she doesn't want them to know.
I didn't realize David Duchovney was this Gus character.
No, we didn't see Gus until the massage. It's
they
great.
Keep mentioning Gus.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they get to the massage, I'm still just not cluing in. I'm like, is he playing himself? Okay, he's got a different name. So what is this?
All the little title cards in the beginning where they had the pictures of the different actors, they're like, how do they know Gus? Gus is mentioned.
Right, I didn't catch his name was Gus here because he says it's something else.
I mean, maybe I might have looked it up and knew.
He introduces himself as a different person, and she knows him as
Raul
a different.
Julia?
Yeah, but when she picks up that envelope in the bathroom, so then I'm thinking, oh, okay, Gus. This isn't Gus. Gus was supposed to be here. He's not, and this guy's like just took massive advantage of her because he's basically like, hey, I got this raging boner. And she's like nonplussed.
What's your philosophy on release?
You know what, Bill? I know where you're going with this, and the thing is, I don't do it. So.
Right. Not even for a little extra money.
It's not the kind of massage I do. Right. I offer a release of tension and toxins and sometimes emotion, but
yes, well, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't do it, so.
It would take 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, you can come in 30 seconds.
Do you have a second in?
Look, I can't
you
do
can
it.
Stop after
I
30
can't.
seconds. $500. When was the last time you made $500 for 30 seconds?
You're cruel.
I'm not cruel. I'm practical. I need the cash. I need the release.
This is crazy.
$500 in.
You can't make any noise.
This is noisy.
You can audibly exhale. You can't moan or grunt or sigh.
I can't moan or grunt or sigh. Just audible exhale.
Yes. No, too loud. And if you do it, it's too much. All right, you know what?
I'll be quiet. Okay, and I'll be quiet. You ready?
Fuck.
You ready?
Hey, I was kind of turned on by her, like being like, "No way, no way."
Okay. And then I felt really dirty and disgusted by myself.
She threw up?
Yeah, she didn't quite throw up. She retched, but she just runs in and she's washing, and it's like, oh man, we were a part of this.
Let me just give him a hand job or just hop on top.
Because there's an envelope in there.
Snake is come, run out the door and sue him.
That has $500 in it. And then she goes out there and he goes, I'm sorry, I'm short on cash.
Why does the envelope have $500 in it?
I don't know.
And how is he short
why
on
is it
cash?
in the bathroom?
It implies that she stole the money from his wallet, but it was in an envelope, so what?
That's why I was like, well, so Gus, this is Gus's room. Maybe she thought she was meeting Gus. That was the money he was going to give her, but his assistant, this idiot or whatever, I don't know. So he goes, I'm going to go to the ATM, and she's like, there's a limit. There's $300 limit. Blah, blah, blah.
You piece of shit. She's real mean to him.
Yeah, and then she goes down.
Which she should be. She got coerced into a sexual situation she wanted no part of.
But then she goes down to the front desk, and he goes, oh, hey, we know you by name. Come here. This bag is here for you. And it's like the party bag. And then she pulls out a card and opens it. And the subtitles let us know that there's $500 in cash in there. So I'm like, who's that from? There's no way David Duchovney managed to arrange this. But then she carries the bag with her to the party for Gus, and it's the same bag everybody else has. So I'm just like lost. And so Catherine Keener, she's driving down the street. She's pissed. Mary McCormack got her apparently some sort of a dildo for her 39th birthday, and she used it once and couldn't get up from the chair or something, she said. She goes, well, you're not supposed to use it in the chair.
How'd she get?
Maybe
how'd
it's
she get
not
loose?
a dildo. What is this? Is this a Sibian?
The machine? The fuck machine? I know about that.
You don't want to ride that in a chair. So Catherine Keener, she's distraught because Blair Underwood basically does end it with her to some extent.
Does he say that to her?
He says something, and I think she is like super offended by it. And he's just like, well, this isn't like a thing. And she's like, I was leaving Fraser Crane's brother for you. So she's pissed for some unknown reason, Jason. She decides to go to a sex shop.
Yeah, why is she goes there to buy something? It's a gift for Gus?
A butt plug. But as soon as she walks in, the guy that works there looks a little like Justin Bartha. He's like got rubber gloves on and he's cleaning like the display case.
He's been in stuff. I don't know what, but he was a face around this time a little bit.
Wayne Pear. Yep, he in lots of stuff.
They're weird. They're like eyeballing her and whispering to one another. Catherine Keener, they're talking about. She's on the phone with somebody, and this is the point where Fraser's brother comes home because he got fired.
Yeah.
Because he's a beer from a glass guy, not a beer from a bottle guy.
But that's an excuse to get him out of there because he's been sexually harassing people.
I don't know. That old man seems so mercurial.
You love that word. I'm beer from the bottle.
Fuck off.
I had a defined answer by the time those two answered. And he says, I put it in the glass. And he's like,
of course
you're
you
fucking fired, you fucking loser.
Pussy. But of course,
you're a waste of money. Get the fuck out of here.
He comes home and he finds that his dog had eaten a shit ton of those brownies that I had aforementioned.
It took me a minute to process what I was looking at.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I looking at?
There's a big hole in the middle of a hot dish.
And he looks up at the ceiling and I'm like,
what happened? What's this
is
about?
It a meteor?
Oh, it turns out the dog just ate in the middle out. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and he's just freaking.
He ate a lot.
Losing his shit, calling the vet. The doctor needs to come over.
It's like a 6-inch pizza circle. It's big.
Yeah, it was
a big
massive.
Circle. Yeah.
It's like a big pizza cookie. You ever seen those?
Yeah, give me some pizza cookies.
And he's just flipping his lid. He's really good.
I really like David Hyde Pearce a lot.
Yeah,
I've always liked David Hyde Pearce. I think he's great in this. Made me think of The Perfect Guest that has, I think, your buddy in it.
Yeah, I was just going to say I like that movie where he drinks wine and is bad.
That movie sucks, though.
Yeah, it's terrible. He's great, though.
It's good for a half hour. It's a really compelling trailer.
It's like Hard Candy.
Yeah, except for it doesn't have any balls.
Vibing, and then you're like,
it's the Stookie Brothers
stupid.
at the end.
Yeah.
Get the fuck
So
out
the
of here.
doctor's like, okay, well, we'll send a vet over at some point. He's like, word, thank you very much.
He's funny. He's convincing. You completely believe that he's stressing out of his dog. He's lost his girlfriend. He hasn't found out he lost his girlfriend yet.
His wife.
He lost his job. His dog's about to die, he thinks. And then pretty soon he's going to find out his wife is leaving him.
He never finds Catherine Keener's note. She retrieves it at the very end. Hitler's going on. He's pissed because Nicky Katt took out Ava Braun.
All right, what I do off stage is my process and my business, okay? And I don't care what anybody thinks.
It's my business to put on a play. And now I've got 3 hours to find a new Ava Braun.
Didn't he fuck her and she quit the show?
She quit the show.
Hey.
Because Nicky Katt drinks blood.
Oh, okay. You know what? Fuck her. And here's why. Number one, anyone who's offended by drinking blood obviously doesn't drink blood. Number two, anybody who drinks as much blood as I do knows it has no effect. Number three, there is absolutely no scientific connection between drinking a shot of blood a day and being an extraordinary actor. And number four, it is impossible to prove number three.
And there was another actor.
That's not good for you.
Jack LaLanne used to do it, he said. And he's just diving into this role. And it's fun because we get to see the rehearsal. And it's just so fucking, like, nobody would be able to stomach this. You could probably get away with this, bits and pieces of this, like on a South Park or something, but...
This fake play or Nicky Katt?
The fake play, yeah. This representation of Hitler.
Yeah.
He's answering voice chats and whatever hipsters were doing back then. He's got a pager because Goebbels is going to get a haircut.
This is actually the perfect time period where you could do this, buddy. This is the 2002,
in reality?
Right? Yeah, you could do this right then. Yeah.
Okay. It's good. He's fantastic.
He's really good.
He's incredible.
He's such a huge asshole later on when he's like telling the other people in the scene what to do, and the director's like, "What?" And he's like, "No, I'm in charge."
The actor is a total dick, but even when he's actually performing the material, I'm like, this is great.
He's good. The material works with him doing it.
Almost only because he's doing it. It seems like
it's how upsetting would that be to create a play, hire this guy that's going to be good. He's a monster and is making you suffer and die every day, but he's above and beyond the best possible person. Because I was immediately like, fire him. No, he's the only thing that works about this.
Well, they said they wrote it for him. But it's like a little mini Birdman going on here. So the
dog dead.
The dog's dead. The nurse comes over. She's not a nurse.
Dog's not dead.
She reminds me of one of the people from Broad City. They get super stoned though, and they have a really good heart-to-heart jaw session.
It's wonderful.
I don't know whether she lost respect for me or I lost respect for myself, but something was lost.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, I know professionally I'm going to go back to teaching. I always loved teaching.
Really?
Yeah. Never learned a thing in my life, but I love teaching. The legacy of higher education.
She came along at the perfect moment that he needed her.
But when
they had a nice time.
Super freaking earlier, he calls Catherine Keener, and she assumes he's already found the letter, and she told him not to call, so she's not going to answer it. Plus, she's in the sex store.
Yeah.
So she goes up to the register, and it gets super weird now. He puts it in a bag, and she goes,
"Can you give her a pen?"
No, I can't. She's like, "Oh, okay. Did you give me my credit card back?" "Yeah, I totally did," the other person says. "No, I don't think you did." And he just goes over and he grabs like some finger wands or some shit. "Take these for free." And she goes, "No, I'm pretty sure." And she goes to reach into her bag to check her wallet. And they pull out a gun.
Yeah.
And the other guy springs on her.
It's her.
Yeah. And they handcuff her to a chair.
It's crazy.
But then immediately, moments thereafter, he goes get the handcuffs. It cuts away. We cut back. She's in the chair cuffed up. And they're uncuffing her. And they're just like, "We're so sorry."
It's a big mix up. You look just like her.
He looks just... what is that? No, there's not a yes or no answer, Jason.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that something we should know what's going on?
I mean, there's another thief, but I guess they must be robbing the stores at gunpoint based on the reaction. Because she paid with a card, so it would seem like you're like, oh, our assumptions are wrong because she paid for the goods.
Yeah. I thought they were robbers.
What?
She had walked in on them robbing the place.
What?
And they were pretending like, "I'm going to put on rubber gloves and clean."
What?
And then they spring on her. She's the fuzz. She's reaching for a badge.
No, what?
That's what I thought immediately. I come to realize, almost immediately thereafter that it's just some weird thing going on. But
Julia, that's so elaborately insane.
Why not? There's movies and movies in this, right? So they're like, "All right, peace, sorry, whatever."
Peace.
So she goes to meet Mary McCormack, who used the money that she got to buy a really nice looking dress.
She's from the West Wing,
I did. Mm-hmm. And she looks super fly. And so she goes to meet Catherine Keener. Catherine Keener saw that Blair Underwood is there with his woman and Julia Roberts. He went to a publicist or some guy earlier to tell him about a movie he had written that the guy originally denied, but they've been working on it, and now it's super fly. Mm-hmm. He's not going to act in it anymore. Pincher used to act.
Pincher?
Yeah. Wait, you remember that?
David Pincher?
David Pincher. And then the guy goes, "Nah, that's cool. Don't worry about it." He's given Julia Roberts the cutie eye a little bit, and he leaves, and then Blair Underwood faints.
You and your cutie eye talk. I should really Google it if that's something anybody else has ever said in this world.
Yeah. Well, there's the cutie eye, there's the stink eye, there's the crook eye.
I know what
there's the snake eye. Okay.
I know what snake eye is. Jiggle, jiggle. Those are my dice.
Yeah. Cutie
There's no
eye.
camera here to see me doing
I'm going to hypnotize you.
Are we ever going to talk about Brad?
Throughout the movie, there's pictures of Brad in ad campaigns.
You bamboozle me where I think that the way you set it up when I ask you that, it's like, oh, I guess always at this point he was going to say it. I just interrupted right before he was about to say it. You tricked me.
Yeah. The very first picture that we see of Brad Pitt, I said, "This fucking movie, this better not be it. This better not be his goddamn credit. A picture in a fucking magazine."
My abs hurt from the laughter. I can feel them tightening up. I'm going to be strong tomorrow.
So it is refreshing when we see Oh, no, this is exactly where then moments later they reveal that they're in the movie. Because him and Julia Roberts leave the diner, that's the staging area, for the scene outside. And then they go, oh, hey, by the way, we're in a movie.
Yeah, that's. I thought it would come up earlier, but you jumped right past Brad.
It's in there somewhere. So, and Blair Underwood raps a little bit.
Yeah,
it sounds
I don't
like
that.
Denzel from Mo Better Blues.
I don't like it.
It's doing that. Hey, y'all.
Do you hate it too?
It's god awful.
It upsets me.
When I saw that he was going to be rapping, I don't know where I saw that, but I was like, oh, shit.
There's Wikipedia does not have a plot synopsis for this movie. This movie is hidden in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah.
I had to download this. You wouldn't have been able to watch this with
No,
me.
and when you sent me that, I was like, oh, this must not be available. And I looked it up and it wasn't.
I would more than like to. I would like to pay for it because it's just easier, but it was not available.
Well, because Jeff Garland's character is basically Harvey Weinstein, and he even says
He just wants somebody to eat cheese with.
When they're pitching a thing to him, he even says, "I gotta talk to my brother." What's the other Weinstein's name? Joe, Harvey, and what? Bob. He goes, "I gotta talk to my brother Bob."
I don't know if it's Bob.
It is Bob Weinstein. So maybe that's why, because they're like, oh, we can't have that now. We're canceled.
Yeah, but they decided to erase this movie nobody cared about 20 years ago now.
Yeah, better get ahead of it.
Because it might reference Harvey Weinstein, not by name.
Yeah, so Brad Pitt is in a David Fincher movie, and it almost seems like they're maybe doing like 8, maybe 9.
Julian?
Yeah.
It's because of his outfit.
He's
his
got a
bulletproof vest
vest.
over. He looks like him from Seven.
Yeah. So they're at the party. I guess maybe the butt plug was for Gus. It's a party favor.
What else would it be for?
I don't
What do
know.
you mean?
Her?
She's buying it for him. Who?
She does. Catherine Keener.
But it's getting gift wrap. She's gift wrapping.
She wants to surprise herself.
Open herself up later.
She's gonna go home, put it in the freezer, forget about it, open it up one day. Oh, what's this? And open it up. Surprise! And so they're at the party, and you know everybody's there, and they're having a blast. And Julia Roberts meets a boy who remembered something cute that she said 25 years earlier or whatever.
I don't think it was quite that long. She's supposed to be pretty young in this. Her character is 30, right? Wonder how old she is.
Where would you have gotten that information?
In the beginning, they did the cards
does it
for each
say her
character
name?
that tells
Oh,
their
okay.
age. Like famous actress.
This is
age
before
30.
Scanner, not Scanner. Sleepers, not
Before
Sleepers.
she was in Scanners.
What's that called?
With Julia?
With Pfeiffer.
Michelle-
Flatliners.
This is not from before that.
Isn't it? When did that come out?
Are you fucking stupid?
I don't know.
I'm so
Isn't it
sorry.
like 90 something?
Yeah.
Oh, this is 2000.
Hey, yeah, but
This feels like a 90s movie.
no, it doesn't.
It does. The clothes, everything about it. I hate it.
2002, and you're like, this movie from 2002 actually came out before that movie.
For some reason, I felt like this was
1992.
like 90. Now that I'm just thinking about it in my brain, but whatever. So
I'm sorry.
they're at the party, and
I'm sorry I called you stupid.
No, that's fine.
You have to edit this because you're really making us talk too much.
no, we're doing fine. So they're at the party, and they're like, well, Gus ain't here. Let's just bullshit for a while.
Wait, what does she say to that guy? That guy, the guy that Julia Roberts, he comes up to her. It's embarrassing. You're like, oh, Julia Roberts is going to shame this guy that kind of remembers her. He's like, I was the lighting guy in this movie 5 years ago when you were nobody. She's like, okay, yeah. And he's like, you always said you felt like a waitress on vacation. Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that clicks in her head. She's like, oh my God, you paid attention to me when I was nobody?
She goes, you remember that? And he goes, yeah. But then he also goes, well, hey, look, I'm not going to
That's perfect.
waste your time. You got, schmoozing, because she was trying to brush him off.
Right. Totally hardcore.
Yeah.
And then this is the moment where she's like, haha, yeah.
And then he goes,
Do you wanna hang
cheers and have a good night.
Please come with me.
And she goes, oh, well, I can't cheer you because I don't have a drink. Why don't you come with me? She grabs his dick, pulls him away.
This is interesting because I feel like this is what famous people run into, right? Like,
Yeah.
God, is there anybody that remembers me from before I became this?
Or, yeah, that, but also doesn't care that I'm this.
Mm-hmm. But it must be really hard to find people that really don't care.
Yeah. Like Matt Damon's wife. She's just like a lady.
Bernardo Bertolucci?
Yeah.
Why do you say yeah?
I don't know. Could be for all I fucking know. Or other people. Dolly Parton. Her husband. It's just like some guy. He didn't do anything spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
They loved each other. She went off with her big tits and did her thing, and he's just like, yeah. So Julia Roberts is in love. And Mary McCormack, she's like, you know what? For some reason, I'm going to go down to David Duchovney's room.
Catherine Keener's like, okay, I'm going to be really weird with Blair Underwood now in front of people.
She's like, just chill, lay in the cut.
I'm going to be I got this. I'm going to be so...
Because she's making Mary McCormack blow up her globe.
Uh-huh.
While everybody's telling stories. I keep hearing this, shh, shh. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then you show you that she's crouched in front of Catherine Keener blowing up this fucking globe.
It also, earlier in the movie, 5 minutes from now, Julia Roberts is doing the exact same spiel that David Hyde Pearce was doing earlier about your porno name and how to find your porno name.
With Jeff Garland. And I'm Baron von Frankennuts or whatever.
That's absolutely one of the porno names.
Yeah.
Why is she blowing up the globe? Is she like trying to bring her emasculation techniques to this Hollywood party?
I don't know. Yeah.
She thinks it's going to be fun.
Because immediately she just gets up and throws it at Blair Underwood.
Fuck you.
And he's like, what the fuck?
Chill.
And then they're all like, oh, hi, I'm Carl's wife. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. And then she goes, I'm going to go get my ball. And she picks it up and Blair Underwood gets up like, what do you want? And his girlfriend's like giving him the stink eye.
Not the cutie eye.
I don't like this shit. No. And Mary McCormack goes, okay, hang out. Sorry, everybody. She's drunk or whatever. And I think this is then when she goes down to David Duchovney's. She goes up to see him. She takes the elevator up and then takes the stairs down. And he's dead. Because while he was having her massage his weenus, he goes, hand me that bag. Remember that?
You just hand me that plastic bag right there.
Well, why?
No reason.
So he wore it while she was...
No.
Yeah. And she goes, can you move that? And his bag, it was on the table. She was trying to put it back together.
So you think he wore the plastic bag on his head while she jacked him up, took it off while she was rummaging through his things and they interacted and he was like, I'm sorry, I thought I had more money. And then when she left, he had to jack off with the bag on his head again?
No, much later is whenever he did whatever he did and died. Yeah, but he has the bag when she comes into the room.
I didn't know that was Duchovney right away. When they show him laying like that, I was like...
Dead?
Is that David Hyde Pearce? He's got like some food on his face. Like, what's happening? Oh my God, no, it's David Duchovney. He's dead.
Because again, I'm still
Wrapped in
not
plastic.
operating under the realization that he's Gus. Because they keep saying Gus, Gus, Gus. And then early in the movie, she finds that envelope like we had already discussed about Gus. So then he's dead, and I'm thinking, oh, well, that's Gus.
So he died jacking off? It wasn't a suicide thing, it was a jacking off thing?
He's definitely in a robe, but his hand is around his limp dick. But there's no like porno on the TV.
Oh, you limp dicking him?
Yeah. No porno on the TV.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'd be thinking about Mary McCormack jerking me off reluctantly. I'd be like, this is hot.
And then I'm thinking, oh, maybe there was a professional sex therapist there
that killed him. Put a bag over his head.
He died, and she freaked and left.
Or
he,
David Carradine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. He's dead though, and they're freaking. And she's like, "We got to call somebody." And Catherine Keener, I think she found their dad dead when they were young. They mentioned something like that, and then David Hyde Pearce has a voiceover where he says, "She's like a dog."
She's falling apart beneath the surface, right?
She goes, yeah. He goes, you ever see a dog that gets hit by a car, but it walks away from it? Like the dog, there isn't a sort of specific, tangible realization of what happened. The dog doesn't understand the world outside of being a dog. It doesn't go this deep into it, but this is what he means. So when it's struck by a car, it doesn't know what a car is. It might know the effects of a car that could have on an animal, but it doesn't know what it is. And so if it gets hit by it, it's just like a sudden system shock of violent, force. You're fine, but you are somehow shaken inside. And that's what she's like. And she's just looking at the dead body, and Mary McCormack's looking at her. And then it cuts to David Hyde Pearce, super stoned, talking to the vet nurse, spilling his guts about how him and Catherine Keener had dissolved their sexual relationship, component of their relationship, years ago. And he just one day suggested, why don't we film ourselves? Which again brings back this weird fetish that he seems to be harboring about pornography, the names of actors and such.
Interesting.
And Catherine Keener's just like, what? No, that's what? But then he says all of a sudden, one night, she's just like, let's do it. So we set it up, and we were super primed, and she had a toy that she brought out. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe this is the one that Mary McCormack gave her for her 39th birthday. And he goes, this thing is fucking enormous. And I get to thinking like, well, there's no way I can match this with my wiener.
You put it in the other hole.
Yeah. Put that one in yours.
To team up.
Yeah. And they didn't consummate their love. And Catherine Keener's there. She's inside listening to them this whole time. And then all of a sudden the chick turns.
Is that your wife?
And he goes, something like that you just can't come back from. And she goes, is that your wife? He goes, oh yeah, hey honey, this is the nurse. The dog almost died. We're super stoned. And Catherine Keener's like, it's all about me though. Gus is dead. And he goes, oh shit, my bad. She goes, I'm going to get out of here. And he goes, yeah, that's word. And then he consoles her.
I almost want him to be like, you came by at a perfect moment in my life, and I really appreciate what you did for me.
Yeah. Because when he's on the phone earlier and he's still tripping about the dog, he sees the envelope. And he looks at it and he goes, oh, that's weird. And then he just throws it back down.
Oh, that's why I thought he looked at it, because I vaguely remember him having the red envelope.
Yeah, and so him and Keener, I guess, are good kind of now. And it's the next morning.
She feels destroyed by the events of Gus dying and Blair Underwood rejecting her.
And she even says to him, if you leave me, I don't know what I would do. And
eat some worms.
And the next morning, he didn't have any bad dreams. He did dream that he had an afro. And Catherine Keener just casually walks into the kitchen, rifles through the newspaper, finds the envelope, rips it into 4 squares, and just tosses it into the garbage. Now, I don't know about you, Jason, and your suspicion, what level of suspicion your mind harvests and harbors for later. But if I were to then open up my garbage and I see an envelope with some sort of a card or a letter in it, a red one, ripped up and just laying on top, I'm opening that and piecing it together.
Oh man, I just don't know that I would notice it or pay attention to it.
Yeah, I'd be like, bitch.
Maybe. There's nothing weird happens around here, so.
So do you think that the movie, because you would think that maybe the movie that Blair Underwood is in was written by David Hyde Pearce's character because of that envelope.
But he doesn't know what the envelope and it's happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird, right?
But I think this is Roger Ebert's beef with it. He's like, more make sense.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, good for him.
I liked it.
I mean, it carried me through. Nicky Katt really,
Dude, the
really
jump
good.
from there's nothing to this and I don't care to, oh, okay. That was what helped me get through the whole thing.
As jarring to me as it was when the movie reveals that it's in a movie or there's a movie going on around it or whatever, then for the rest of the movie I kept watching it with through the lens of, okay, is this the movie? Wait, when did that happen? Is this, and it just...
What about when they pulled the cameras at the end and Steven Soderbergh's like, man, this is a movie?
God, I hated it so much.
I was like, wait,
why is this a
wait,
movie?
but these guys actors all along?
Yeah.
Huh?
Because it kind of would have needed to have started like that.
But that's not what it is. It's just like Soderbergh being like, I'm making a movie.
It's like
we were making the movie in the movie. I'm making a movie. It doesn't have anything to do with the plot.
It's like the popular fan theory about Super Mario Brothers 3, that all of it is a play. Because when you boot up the game, there's a curtain and it rises, and then everything thereafter is the play. And even when you see the platforms and shit, they have screw holes. The clouds are dangling from, it's like a set. Reshapes the way you think about life, huh?
No.
So when I see this, I'm just like, oh wait, is that in there? What was that sex shop thing? Because Catherine Keener drives by the set of the Brad Pitt movie, She's just losing her mind. Fucking actors.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck cop, can I go? That's when she's going to get her butt plug.
I just like Brad in this.
He's fine.
He's just like Brad as like a bad actor. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem good. When him and Blair run up in the first scene, you're like, oh, this is a bad movie?
Yeah, because he actually says one of Blair's lines. Brad Pitt does.
Like we were late. Looks like. Back to square one. That's what he thinks. You think different? Like the back of my big 10-inch. Oh, come on.
The first shot sucks because they run up and then Blair starts smoking. And like he's running with a lit cigarette.
Well, you know, it's for when he's done running. You're going to need a cigarette.
He's not exhausted. But then the second time they do it, he says the line and Brad doesn't step on it. So I don't know if that was something they worked out or if...
I'm sure it's got to be fun for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the movie's an experiment. They're playing.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was amusing enough. I thought it was going to be so bad. And then boy, it was not interesting. And then I said, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I think Ocean's 11 kind of did it a little bit better. That chilling out kind of...
But he gets to grab
star power
all the
vibe.
famous people he knows and just have them play with him.
Yeah, it's just what I'm watching. I just don't find it all that interesting.
Yeah, that's fair.
I hate. It's always like the inside baseball or fourth wall bullshit. It's always based around like Hollywood. Oh, we're in Hollywood. We're on a set. It's like you don't tell me about Hollywood. So that's Full Frontal because the movie's over now. Oh, Mary McCormack and what's his face meet up.
Enrico Colantoni.
Yeah.
From Just Shoot Me.
Kind of a weak movie for me. I just don't cotton to this kind of thing. It's like found footage type shit. So what would you give this movie? You liked it. You loved it.
No, I did love it. I did love it. I was amused. It was just enough dumb indie movie to pull me in. I was already wasted a half hour of my life on it, and then I was like, "Hey, guess what? A little bit interesting." And I was like, "I'm in."
Yeah.
Fucking come to the party with you. I'll give it a 6.25.
The last like 15 minutes, I'm just like, why is this not ending? Whatever. I'd give this movie a 5.5. It's fine.
6.25, 5.5. What do you give BP? BP, a really good father. But you know what? I don't think he's coming on the podcast, Jules. I don't think he's going to call us. I'm going to go ahead and say, sounds like he's not a very good guy.
Yeah, I would never have thought he was.
I wanted to believe he's a good guy.
He stinks.
He stinks, yeah. That stinky thing's
lazy.
Crazy.
You know, I give him
he's lazy.
I give him a 6.
Yeah.
He's in on it. It's nice to see him.
It's pretty much non-existent, though.
Yeah.
But he does seem like a...
Bonus points just for being throughout the film in these ridiculous newspaper articles and ads or whatever.
I think he's at the party, too.
Is he?
Gus's party. I'm pretty sure I saw his hair for a split second.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not positive. I won't go to bat on that, but I think he's there.
That's cool.
And I think that's great, too, because he's just
if he is,
out.
yeah, that's fantastic. That'd be super fantastic to find out if that's true.
Okay, I'll do 6, too. I'll copy you.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Oh, good.
He's got a big part in that.
God damn it.
He does not. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Discord.
Threads.
Email us. We do filmographies in the net and at gmail.com on there. Or into your phone, you type in 763-634-1897 and a genie will pop out. All right. I've been Jason.
I've been Jules.
And good night.
Good night.
That's